Hello there, well-being enthusiast. It's Lisa Starr with another episode of StarrCast. We are in Portugal this week for the We Work Well EMEA spa event, which happens once a year, usually in the spring. There are 120 buyers and suppliers from Europe and the Middle East and a little bit of Africa here. And so it is always a pleasure of mine to try to speak to a few of them about their outlooks for business in their regions. Our theme for We Work Well this event is exploration, since we are in Portugal, the home of many world explorations started here. So we are exploring what people see in the industry going forward. So you'll hear from a few global leaders on their vision of spa and wellness. I hope you enjoy listening. Hi, everyone. We're here at the We Work Well EMEA event, and I am fortunate to be joined in the same room by two women who are rarely in the same room. It is Louise Moore and Sharon Barcock. They are Director of Spa Development and Operations for Hilton for EMEA and Europe. And it's lovely to see you. This is like our once a year meeting in person. Our theme for this event is exploration. We're in Portugal, the land of many explorers. And so I'd love to hear from your vantage point as longtime leaders and experienced people in the field. How are you feeling about the appetite for exploration in the spa business right now? And I'm going to start with you, Sharon. And Sharon has other issues being based in Dubai, which we'll get to in a minute. But let's talk about the exploration theme first. What are you feeling?
I think, as our region is growing and developing, there is becoming a lot more knowledge and awareness of wellness in different ways. I mean, what we're seeing is, particularly in areas like Saudi Arabia, for example, people that have been venturing further afield that are now bringing things to home, but are now opening their world to outside explorers that are coming to experience Saudi Arabia, for example. And so a lot of focus on heritage and bringing rituals to the table from the past, which is really great to see.
It's like a circle, right? I mean, the things that used to be indigenous practices that were forgotten, and now the people, well put, who are coming to explore these regions that were unexplored, like Saudi, want to see those things.
Very much. And I think there's also a big focus on, again, natural ingredients, the use of natural ingredients, and how the remedies of the past and the traditional healing of the past, how that can be incorporated into the spa and wellness of today.
Sharon, you oversee how many spas in your district?
So at the moment, we've got roughly 37 managed full-service luxury spas.
Goodness, that's a lot.
It is, but it's growing on a yearly basis as well, which is very positive. So
keeps you busy.
Keeps us very busy.
So Louise, I'll ask you the same thing for Europe. I mean, you are UK-based. How many spas in your portfolio?
I think we probably now have somewhere in the region of 25. And we've got a really, same as Sharon, a really kind of healthy pipeline, both full service and luxury, which is really interesting, which is fun.
So you're exploring new locations. What else is changing in the market that you see?
I think the real change, I guess, probably kick-started from the pandemic, where everything kind of altered and changed. But now I think the new buzzword that we really see is longevity. And so for me, and ever since, I was really fortunate to go to the Global Wellness Summit last year, which really focused on longevity, with me trying to understand what did that mean for us in the hotel environment? How did that filter down to us, and how would we? And so I suppose for me, it's about being the explanation or adventure in terms of kind of understanding how we apply that into our world.
Well, let's dive into that. That's a really valid question. You have guests in hotel spas. They aren't living there most of the time. They come for a day or two or a week. How much impact on longevity can you have? And how do you try to have it?
I think longevity and the consumer guest today is so much more well read and understood in terms of kind of what their expectations are, and for sure, certainly I guess we all want to live longer and healthier lives, and understanding what that means. And it's different for different people and at different levels. So I guess for us, it's just to understand how we can meet our guests in their own, at their own level where they want to be met. So
What about you, Sharon?
Yeah, I think, our global pillars we've got 4 global pillars, which are very much spa mindfulness, sleep, nutrition, and movement. And to that point, it is very much about meeting the guest where they are in their journey. So yes, every project or every operation will be different in some way. Some of our brands are very different. Some of our brands have a very specific DNA, and some of them are very much built around a connection to the location that they sit in. So I think we work a lot more closely now with food and beverage, for example, but we also focus a lot more on the guest room. So we're taking a much more holistic 360-degree approach to how we're planning and programming. It's not just about our spa space. So, doing far better fitness experiences, for example. Hotels, I think in the past were known for having rather basic gyms. And so that's something we're trying to change, not just from the actual space itself, how it looks, how motivating it is, but what type of equipment is in there. So if I've got a property that is more of a male DNA guest, a more business specific guest, there's going to be a certain type of equipment potentially that I will look to put in there. Is it a resort facility? So I think, we have to really think about the market and the appetite of what's going into the property. Do we have the bandwidth, for example, for a membership? Because then you've got the ability to create different touch points of longevity. So whether it's the contrast therapy, contrast bathing, recovery therapy, this is how we're kind of looking at now building our spaces. So we have those specific touch points to try and meet the guest where they are.
That makes a lot of sense. It's very sensible. I mean, and you're right about the pillars. People need to sleep. We need our sleep if we want longevity. And that's why we're in a hotel. We need a bed. So having a comfortable bed and a room that's equipped for good sleeping, having good, healthy food choices, those are 2 of the pillars right there. Then you get into the spa space, and then we start to think about, when you think of longevity, you think more of the toys, right? But maybe that's not the right word, but the sort of the new tech that we want to use, like LED lights and PEMF mats and having hyperbaric chambers, if you will. So what is Hilton's approach to using some of that tech in the spa space?
I think certainly for my region, I think again, it's about being realistic. What is a trend that is going to have a very limited cycle, and what is going to stand the test of time? I think, the reality is you can add on all the bells and whistles, but is that going to attract people? Is that what they really want? Because ultimately it comes down to the quality of the people that you have working with the guests, their knowledge, their education, their connection to the guest, and the ability to build a relationship. Because ultimately that's what's going to keep people coming back. It's not what you put in. You can have the simplest setup, but if you've got a great experience, a great treatment, a great outcome, people will keep coming back for that. So I think, yes, there are spaces where we're going to add in more technology because it makes sense. For example, if I've got an extensive space and I have more of a wellness kind of destination wellness focus, then there will be a greater focus on tech. But in some locations, it just doesn't make sense. So then it really becomes about the offering that we're giving to the guest.
Right. I think, and also just picking up on Sharon's point, it's so important when we talk about some of that tech, is the education piece, that we need to make sure that the people that are delivering that are absolutely trained and educated and understand how that technology needs to be used in order to get the best deliverables. But the other side for me, from tech, is the whole kind of contactless technology that's coming, and that can all be embraced by us all. So whether that's your LED light therapy, or whether it's more touchless tech like the zero gravity bed by Starr, whatever that may be, but also more simple things that we all have, like in terms of contrast bathing or sauna and steam rooms, so that education piece is so important to educate our guests in terms of kind of what benefit and what health benefit and longevity benefit, obviously, that's going to get.
And educating the team as well.
Huge.
We talked today in our Grow Well session about the challenges with training, and in both of your locations, I'm sure you're working with people who have multiple different languages that are their native language. And some therapists may feel threatened by the tech. And so how do we make them feel good about that? And yet, we know as businesses that we need to keep offering things that clients are looking for. So how do you rise to that challenge?
I mean, it is a challenge. I mean, especially in our region, because we don't have training academies per se. So we're largely hiring from the Asian subcontinent, where they don't have certificated training. So there is a lot of education that needs to be done. And this is where we really need to rely on very experienced leaders, especially in the luxury space. So having people that come from a therapist background that have the ability to not just educate operationally, but also can educate on a hands-on basis. So that becomes very important. But it is training. You know, it's constant education. You can't just show somebody how to do it once and then just leave it at that. It has to be continual. And it also has to be assessed and evaluated so that you can point them in the right direction. Because like to Louise's point, if you talk about something like hyperbaric, which we typically do not do hyperbaric at this point, it's not just about how to teach the guest or take the guest through what that actual technology is going to do in that moment. It's what are you supposed to do beforehand and what are you supposed to do or not supposed to do afterhand. Right. So those are also the important things to think about. And again, I think when it comes to us selecting technology, that has to be a key part of when we're selecting.
And that also we touched on that about that today, is how do you make it consistent? And so therefore that kind of whole almost kind of 360 piece needs to exist and needs to be continuous to make it stick. And to make it successful.
Which is not an easy task. I mean, we can just sit here and say it, but doing it
is a different
so for anything you've got to think, as Sharon said, the kind of start, middle and end. So if we want this to stick, then we can't just think about the actual individual thing. We also need to then think about the beginning and the end. The most important thing, I guess, is we might think it's a good idea, but at the end of the day, the guests need to think it's quite a good idea and that they would, you know, it's something that they want. So that's important too.
And that's actually been one of the interesting conversations today with some of the suppliers, because obviously suppliers are very passionate about what they're selling.
Sure.
And I have to ask the question with some of them, but are you selling into the home space or are you selling into the commercial space? Because there's a big difference between the two. So the client that's got money that wants it for their home is very different to us putting it into a spa with owner's money, where we don't know who's going to come and use it. So I think sometimes we have to be a lot more realistic than what the vendor sometimes is. Because again, we have to be really realistic about the market, and the market changes as well.
I think I was picked up on your session earlier, Lisa, that you did. It's about making that match. And I've said today in the one-to-one meetings, I've said that on more than one occasion, when you're looking at a product or a brand, you're looking for that match. Does it make sense? When you think about the product, when you think about the guest, there's got to be that kind of win-win. Otherwise, it's just not gonna fly.
Well, that's really the goal of an event like this, right? I mean, all the sellers are passionate about their products and they think they work and they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But you have to filter it for like what's right for your situation, your guest, your staff member. I mean, and is it commercial?
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, we're spending an owner's money, you know, and we have to ensure that that is going to achieve a return on the investment, because otherwise we're going to be the ones in trouble. And I think, again, you know, you talk about exploration, and I think the great advantage of this event is that we get the opportunity to explore so many different brands in this environment. So it does give us that education to learn about what is new and what's out there. But yeah, it's not a quick fix. You know, some people are like, right, so how can we get in? When are we getting in? And I'm like, well, it's not that simple. You know, it's great. Yes, we can register you as a preferred partner, but from a property perspective, you know, we've got to look at feasibility of what we really think will work in there.
You got to price it out and look at the
Exactly.
margins.
But I think it was interesting that, and again, the session that we did with you, Lisa, was super good, and there was some really good feedback.
Didn't pay her to say.
But equally, when we think about that relationship that we have, supplier partner, it's just about, you know, being honest and being truthful and kind of building that relationship, and that's all we can ask of one another. And you know, at the end of the day, all of the suppliers would love to, you know, to develop and grow their business in our business and your business, but it's got to be right for both.
For sure.
Otherwise, neither of us will win.
No, very, very good point. So, the last topic I want to touch on is your take on the economics of the moment, right? And Sharon, you're in Dubai. Tell us what's been happening there. How's business? What's the outlook?
Yeah, so we have been unfortunate to be on the receiving end of kind of a war, if you like. We're not the direct target, we're the indirect target. So the result of that is that it has had a direct impact on inbound business, international business coming into the GCC largely, but it's not just had an impact on the GCC, it's also a much wider remit, for example, the Indian Ocean. So we have been on the receiving end of airport closure, flights not working anymore. So, for example, British Airways isn't coming into the UAE anymore at the moment. Insurance companies are not covering anybody coming into the Middle East. So it's had a direct impact on the tourism business. And so, unfortunately, since March, we've had a real negative downturn on the business, which has resulted in people working reduced hours, reduced salaries, and unfortunately, in some cases, some redundancies. So yes, for this year, it's going to be a very different outcome to what we had actually forecasted for.
And there's just no sense of when it will come to some closure.
No, I mean, at the moment, everybody's anticipating September, but it's really because typically summer is a lower period for us anyway. We do not have any end in sight. There is certainly no guarantees of what's going to happen. And unfortunately, on top of that, we've got the Israel Lebanon situation, and that's all now getting embroiled. So no, we don't have really any sight of when this is going to be completely ended and things will come back to some normality. So realistically, we're looking at 2027.
What's the mood in Dubai among people who live there, like yourself? I mean, are people going about their business as usual?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was the initial panic. You know, it's something that a lot of people have never experienced before. So it's been a little bit scary at the beginning. You've got two schools of thought. One that's I need to get out of here and I need to get my family safe. And one that's like, no, I'm staying put and you're not moving me. But I think, you know, we had the ceasefire at the beginning of May. And then sadly, on the 8th of May, we then had a number of intercepts happen very, very quickly, which took everybody by surprise. But I think since that, we haven't had anything else. And so kind of everybody's kind of calmed down. And to be honest, on the surface, you would think that it was business as normal.
No, but
which is great. And, you know, people are taking advantage of a lot of promotional offers. So it's great for local residents. But obviously on the negative side, it really is the business side that is impacted greatly.
Sorry for that.
Well, thank you. Nothing you can do about it, unfortunately.
We can have the best of intentions. Louise, are you seeing any fallout in the UK or the rest of the world?
I can't honestly say that I can specifically. So no, not necessarily from that point of view. No.
How does business look for the summer for you? I mean, you always have tourism.
Yeah, and I think and I guess that was kind of seen immediately after the pandemic, where the return of travel was just dramatic.
The floodgates of
where people were able to travel, and so obviously, kind of summertime within our business is a great time to be people being abroad and on holiday. So.
Well, Americans are still traveling to Europe, I can say. Every plane is still packed. And people want that change of culture, change of pace. And of course, they want to experience new things in foods, but they want to see to their old routines about maintaining health and sleep and food. So we have our work cut out for us either way. Any other thoughts you want to share on your business forecast for the year?
No, I don't. I mean, I think. I know it. I mean, it's crazy to think about it, and it was a awful time that we all went through when we had the pandemic. But I think our guests nowadays are so well informed in terms of what they want and how important wellness is becoming, and we can see that from the last numbers that obviously were released at the end of last year from the Global Wellness Summit in terms of the growth of that. And I think also what is fascinating, we were talking about that earlier in the sessions, is almost that reinvigorated drive to travel and to we were talking about Greece and how popular that is as a destination now. Whereas when I was younger and I went there for like, I don't know, £99 or something like that, so it's almost like exploring and revisiting and rediscovering places that you already knew but are very, very different.
Or you see them through a different lens.
Yeah, and the whole cultural thing, and whether that's food or, whatever that may be. So yeah.
Great. Well, Sharon, we hope the war comes to an end soon.
Thank you, so do we. But on the positive side, the good side of it is, and what I will say, I praise the teams, because the teams have really powered through and been resilient. And it's a hard situation to stay positive yourself when your families are worried about you and people don't really know what's going to happen, when you can't leave the country, when you're on a reduced salary, to give energy to somebody else. We really have to praise the teams because they've really done a great job. So continue being positive and work through this. And I think on the other side, just now with the promotions and offers, it's enabled a lot of people to come in, the local people to come in and experience treatments and hotels and restaurants that probably wouldn't have done before, because now they can afford it on a reduced price. So I think, especially in the early weeks, people were traumatized to a degree and just wanted to cocoon and feel safe. And so having very relaxing massages, trying a few different experiences like the flotation therapy, it's been great to see people experiencing those elements. So, hopefully we've been able to enable the guests to explore other offerings that we have, but also to show them that there are other treatments that they can experience.
Well, that's a great attitude. It's kind of making lemonade out of the lemons that you've got.
Yes.
You have to look for the bright spots. So good for both of you for the leadership you're showing to your teams to struggle through this situation.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, now we are here at the We Work Well EMEA event with Egle Ruksenaite. Did I do it?
Yes, Ruksenaite.
Ruksenaite. It's very hard to say these names for us Americans. I apologize. But Egle is very well known across Europe, and she is recently an award-winning consultant, the first Red Diamond Award winner in many years that was not from certain countries. You're from outside the typical countries. So, Egle, tell us about E77, your company, and how you became a spa consultant.
Okay, so it's like a really long time ago in the industry. We are working already 25 years. And it was like a start from the one resort, which was like a really very famous long time ago, as a 300 years ago. And at that time, it was kind of a complicated situation. So we worked together to develop this resort as a new and to bring it in our Nordic area, the spa identity, the wellness identity, because before we have like a more medical spa identity. So it was like about the health. We know how to do it, how to use it, but about the spa and wellness, I'm more like in luxury way, I'm more like more better services. We don't have it at these times. So we start to work on that, and it was really a good job. And then I felt that, okay, this is my way. I love it. I really enjoy it a lot. Okay, so then we start to create the medical and wellness spa in the new a new concept. We develop a lot in our Baltic countries, mostly in Lithuania. Then we have some projects in Europe, Spain, Czech Republic. Now we work on Azerbaijan, so it's a very huge project. And what especially we do, we have like a big team, really professional ones, from the doctors to architects, interior designers, engineering, food and beverage, hotel specialist, operational staff. So everybody, we are working to create some like mostly unique concept. That's why our company is calling like a unique projects, because we never go in this the same, or we never try to to do the same things. Try to create something for the future, not for today. And I think that is a case that our market is, let's say, growing up very quickly. But in my opinion, we are talking inside that is growing up very quickly. But we forgot that maybe outside, if you go outside from our industry, people, they don't understand it's grown up very quickly. And I think we should, now we are very happy that we are bigger and bigger and bigger, and we announce how many we have, like billions and trillions we are earning. But I think we should go from different approach, that we should go more for everybody. Is enough to build, in my opinion, is enough to build the luxury spas. We still doing that a bit, but normally our company are looking in different way, and we are building something really for special groups, maybe for special people, for special needs, even for younger, for elder, for some kind of the illness. So that I think is a case for the future, just to do something in different way and to look at the opportunity how to split this wellness in a bigger amount.
So the company is called E77.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes, this is a good question. It's not about the numbers, it's about the roads. The road of from the Nordic countries to the Africa, because we work a lot before in Africa, in Nordic countries. So we just think, okay, we are connect everything, and we are building the road right way to the companies which is developing. So this is the name of the road, E77, which is connected Nordic Europe and Africa.
So there's an actual road, and you just wanted to evoke that concept of connecting the two.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, especially that you're working in Africa. I mean, they have such great resources, and yet, indigenous and the wellness cultural things, but they don't have the infrastructure for building things yet that some of the other countries do.
Yeah, I think you don't need the infrastructure such a good as we thinking for the first. Sometimes yes, but sometimes not. It's better to find the right place. For example, if it's like a natural resources is very strong, so you can find the way how to explore that, how to open it to the public, how to do that, like a I don't know, let's say useful. And yes, there are some projects which we working on that can be created more in luxury way. But as I told you before, we are not interested to do the luxury, because the luxury can be everywhere, and be more interesting to create something for more public and open to more people, to create some wellness or new way of living for many people. So this is our, let's say, goal, or our vision, how it should be. So we are looking such a kind of partners, how to do. For example, today we have a nice topics in our wellness, three wellness, so that about the disabled. So I just was really nicely surprised that we have this topic, because 3 years ago we created the project, and we are doing that in Lithuania. That we created the idea how to build the wellness, let's say, city or wellness resort for all kind of disabled people, and together we put it not only for them. It is like we create the idea to build it like a Kurhaus in Europe. Is very well known. The name of the Kurhaus is like a top center of all the resorts when everybody is coming for the culture. So we building the Kurhaus, and the architecture of this is like a circle, and all the facilities is reachable without any stairs, without any things, even in the spa, in the pool, in the sun treatment, everywhere. So this was
Well done.
really idea to build it like a new vision, new direction, and to show for all the Europe, all the world that it's possible, and this is the way we should go. Different approach.
Nice. Good for you. You were ahead of your time as usual. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the things you're working on now?
Yes, that's one I mentioned. It's really interesting. So we have a really nice project on the coast. It's calling we will match together the thermal water with from very, very depth, like 1 kilometer depth.
Wow.
And it will be very strong mineralization, one of the strongest in Europe, about 100 grams per liter. And then we have a Thalasso spa, because we will build that on the coast, on the first line.
What country?
Lithuania.
In Lithuania. Okay.
And it will be really a unique point to get it like even 3 natural resources. Is a climate therapy, yacht therapy, which is a can create it there because it's like a pine park around, and the thalassotherapy of the Baltic Sea, and then the thermal water, very strong one. So it will be also nice, interesting point. And in the same time, we are building this resort, but it's not only we are thinking not about only the clients who is coming and visited that, but we are thinking about that external clients, all the living around, they should come. So we create a bit separate area, huge thermal area, which will be for everybody who is want to use it like a day spa or something like that. So mostly it will be one of the biggest thermal spa in the Baltic at this moment.
Are there other thermal spas in Lithuania now? No.
No.
So you'll be the
In all the
first,
region.
the whole region, the first,
All
the
region, all
largest.
Scandinavia don't have it.
Wow.
So it will be Nordic Europe. I mean, all Scandinavia don't have it. No, like only Iceland.
So are you bringing the water up from the land or from the ocean?
You mean
The 1 kilometer deep?
No, it will be on the place, on the coast.
On the
just
coast,
from
the
not
land.
the beach, but it's like a second part of the beach.
So you have to do some geology, right, to
Yes.
find the water. How did you have geologists help you?
Yes, of course. We did research, and scientists did the research that we have like such a kind of the 1 or 2 kilometers depth. We have like a let's say as a big lake of the mineral water. This is very interesting because this mineral water is very, very old, like a centuries old one. It's very rich of the minerals, very rich of the magnesium, which is also good for the health. And that we decided to drilling so deep as a really like as oil depth,
Right.
and to get this water up for the health.
So when will this property open, do you hope?
We are start to build that at this moment, and we open it in 2.5, 3 years next year.
2.5, 3 years. So it will be available as a day spa for the local people, plus you
Yes.
have rooms to stay overnight.
Yes, this is our goal, that everybody can come and to try this water. And instead that we would like to build something like art and to show this water up next to this hotel that you can try it or can come and to see it, how it looks, how it's coming. So it's like I think good energy can be.
Do you like working on projects that have thermal or water components? Is that important to you?
For me, it's important natural resources because this is the background of the wellness. Is any case is maybe it can be only the I don't know air, or it can be I don't know the park, or it can be more deeper natural resources, mineral water. We work a lot with mineral waters, with mud applications, with different kind of the natural resources. But for me, it's very important. Like climate therapies, I love that one. This is really something as now as I became more popular, this climate therapy type or walking in the nature, something like that. So I love that. But in general, this is what we are focused on. Even if you do or create some projects in the city, we also do about the mindset and how to bring it, a bit change things. For example, just now we opened at 2 weeks, let's say, before we opened at a huge project, which is as like a Starr in Europe now, new concept, new real estate asset, let's say, for the, let's say, hospital wellness nursing.
Oh, where is that?
Yeah, this is we have done in Lithuania as
In
well,
Lithuania.
in Vilnius. A very, very beautiful project. Beautiful in idea and in concept. It's not like a luxury again, as I told you. It's not about the gold. It's not about the luxury. It's about the people who is ill, and they cannot go to the resort. They cannot use the 5-star, but they have opportunity to receive that in such a kind of the hospital. And of course, it's not like a hospital for the healing. It's more like a nursing style hospital.
Like a supported, you have support for your life.
Yes. But it's like a combination with that we would like to explain, let's say, to bring them to feeling about this spa hotel. And we did design as this. We try to do everything as you just arrive in the spa hotel, even the balneology, all the methodics, special baths, which is like a moving. And if you are not, you are disabled and you cannot, stand up or something, even the bath is special for you. There's some kind of the light therapy, underwater massages. So it's a lot of things. And
So it's like a very nice spa with nurses.
yes, let's say it like that. Yes.
And would you stay there, or do you just come for
Yes,
treatment?
stay. It is both. We did both sides. One, it is like a 2 parts is for stay, for long stay. Let's say, I don't know, 1 month even or something like that. And then other part is like a day spa, day hospital. You can arrive in the morning, can get some, you will get it, of course, some room for yourself. And then evening you can go.
Amazing. What is it called?
Egle Ruksenaite.
I think we have to spell that. Does it start with A or E?
Okay. Oh my God. Egle Ruksenaite.
Okay, we'll look it up. When will that open?
It's open already.
It's open already.
We just 2 weeks ago we opened it.
So tell us, Egle, a little bit about your award that you just won at the Hotel Spa Forum.
Yes, it was really big surprise for me. Even it was complicated to understand how it can be. Really, I am a sensitive person. It's not, maybe for me. But at the same time, I am really happy because this is the first time maybe that Europe recognize our Baltic countries, which is really strong in the spa. And this was like, for me, the very important part. And the second, this was like big promise for the future. So, and for myself, I promised that, okay, now we should really not to do a project. We should create a new life of living, and we should implement our wellness in everyday life. We will start from the children garden, and we will end, I don't know where, but somewhere just nobody knows at this moment. So this is really something for the future I see differently, and it's not about the hotel, it's not about the spa or day spa. It's more about the living. And I would like to say for everybody that for our industry that we should go outside and just look around and think that, okay, we are so nice, we are doing well, but we should do even more in even more directions. So that is my vision.
How do you develop that vision? I mean, how did you become someone who was able to look beyond what is already happening and see opportunity?
Oh my God. This is, because I am a bit crazy person. I do stuff for myself really crazy. A lot of different feelings. So in my background, different etaps of my life, which is became of many experience and became as I am, and then I see what I see. So it's like I start from the experience in a ballet and end in the experiences sports in Olympic Games, something like that. So it's a lot of different kind of experience. Then I create. I have like a feeling inside. I don't know what is it. Who is there? I don't know the name, but somebody is telling me what I should do.
And you listen to it.
Yes, I try. Sometimes I'm not, but I see that, yes, I should just follow my feeling, what I see, and it's something, just open it in my mind every morning.
It seems like a really good approach to have. We talked in our education session about thinking beyond what we've always done in spa. We have our traditions, we have certain services, they cost this much, they take this long, and then we just keep making them over and over. And it's important to look at what else, as you said, look at other industries, look around you and see how you can apply that to the industry that we're in.
Yeah, it's true. Just, I think for all our industry, we should be like ourselves. Maybe even not to try to be so healthy, because, in my opinion, it's not. It's better not pretend that you are so healthy, or not to push yourself to be so healthy. Just you should live your life every day to try a bit think and feel more than it was yesterday, and it happens. You don't need to push yourself to do something incredible tomorrow.
Hi there. So now we are here with Kerry Turpin. She is the global head of spa and wellness for Corinthia Hotels. Many people in America don't really know about Corinthia because there's not only one, right?
We've got one in New York, yeah.
But they're a well-known brand in Europe, very high-end luxury properties. 12 properties currently, and how many in the pipeline?
We have 13 in the pipeline at the moment, with more to come. So yeah.
So we're here at the We Work Well Spa EMEA, and our theme is exploration, given that we are in Portugal, the land of explorers. And it sounds like from the pipeline you've got that Corinthia is certainly exploring the world. Are there any particular locations you're focused on?
We've just signed recently in Chengdu.
I love Chengdu.
Yeah, so it's going to be our first one there. So we're excited about that.
Is it a new build, or are you taking something over?
It's a new build, yeah. So we've got 3 in the Middle East. We've got 1 in Dubai, 1 in Doha, 1 in Saudi. They're all being built now. We have 1 in the Maldives that's being built, same owners as our Bucharest property. We've just signed another 2 in Italy, Lake Como and Bologna.
Perfect.
which is really exciting. We are looking in the US. There's talk of a property. Actually, we have a property. We're just deciding what to do with it in Beverly Hills.
Uh-huh.
And so there's more coming there. So yeah, we're going hard and fast, expanding the brand. So yeah, it's really exciting.
So, Kerry, does every Corinthia existing, that is the 12 units, all have a spa?
Yeah, so we have more Corinthia hotels, but these are 12 with spas.
Okay,
So,
12 spas.
and to be fair, now all the Corinthias will have spas. They're 5-star luxury now. So we had, originally we had more Corinthias, and we've had a little bit of change and restructuring with the properties. Some we have kept as Corinthias, and we're investing in. Others we moved to a different brand called Verde, which is like our 3-4 star brand. And some of them didn't have spas. So yeah, new positioning.
So you have this incredible mandate to basically double your spa offering.
They want 50 properties by signed and on their way by 2030. So that's more than
So you'll be quadrupling your size from when you came on board, which was what, about 2 years?
3 years ago.
3 years ago now.
Yeah.
So tell us what you're seeing. I mean, you have this global aspect on spa. What are you seeing as new trends or directions that you're taking these new properties?
I think it's quite interesting. We've had there was a lot of new trends, especially after COVID. Everyone was looking for like new things. But I'm seeing a trend in taking it back to basics now. And this happens a lot in spas. I think we had it in when I was on property and spas before. The menus just got bigger and bigger and bigger. They became like a book, and then there was this whole massive phase of strip it back and bring it down to basics and remember what you know. And then we've done the same again, and evolution, it's gone bigger, bigger, bigger. People are putting hyperbaric chambers and all sorts of things in hotels, and then they're realizing that potentially some of them are just sitting in a room gathering dust, or the treatment menus too overcomplicated, and people have just had too much information. So all the digital, gadgets, and they've learned a lot more. They've become a lot more wellness savvy. And it went from having, hungry for information just to this is just too much and too complicated. And now I found, and what we're trying to do with Corinthia is really just bring it back so that it's simple to understand, and people don't want to have to come in and really have to overthink when they're coming to our properties. From a hospitality point of view, and I specialize in hotel spas, not wellness clinics. Obviously, this is all very different, but people come to us ultimately to sleep, eat, socialize, rest, leisure activities, visit locations. And we decided to do Corinthia Wellbeing, which will be launching later this year, to make sure that they can do each of those things well, and not to be offering outside of what we are. And it's been really, really nicely received and welcomed by other people in the industry, making sure we don't come up with complicated names for our properties. It's Corinthia Spa, and introducing wellness to every aspect of the guest from the minute they come into the hotel, in their bedrooms, making sure that they've got wellness options. Guests are no longer willing to compromise their wellness needs when they visit us. There's an expectation of what should be there now. If they're on a diet, they don't want to have to compromise on that. And so to just allow them to continue their wellness journey that they would at home within the hotel as a bare minimum, and where we can really enhance it and allow them to take away something that improves upon that. So that's what I'm seeing more now.
So Corinthia Wellbeing is a program that will be through the hotel, not just the spa.
Yeah. So it's a framework that we're putting across all of our properties, an expectation of what the guests will be. So it will be everywhere. The spa will still have its own unique story, which is really important. But yeah, it's the overarching wellness concept for the group.
So it's not something the guests will choose. It just comes with Corinthia.
Yeah. We're not asking the guests to choose or compromise. Like I said, I think most of the things that we're putting in aren't new. But it's a standard expectation. So we need to make sure that it's there, because if they come in and there's not a yoga mat in their room, that's a standard expectation. That was never the case before. being able to work out weights, compression boots in the room if they've flown in, these sort of things now aren't, oh, wow, that's amazing. That's like, well, of course, it's supposed to be there. So we are having to make sure that that's done well, easy to understand, easy to implement, and across all the properties.
So how do you decide which of these options, and there are so many, should be standardized and which are more of a passing trend?
It's a good question. Corinthia does not like the cookie cutter approach, and I don't. I worked for other brands before where it was the same in every single property, and it would mean that in some properties they would end up with treatments or product brands that didn't work for their guest type. So I see my role is, I know we have 4 pillars: movement, mindfulness, recovery, nourishment. So I make sure by meeting different partners that I'm assessing ones that I think would work in different properties, and we have them almost in like a shopping basket for our hotels. It's then down to the hotel to be able to look at this and really understand what their guest type needs and what they want, and they can take them. They can always put ideas forward if they want to, as long as it's not medical. And we allow, they'll take them and put them in the wellness butler. They need to have something in each bedroom which is hitting one of those 4 pillars. So they have to choose at least one. So they would come and choose the one that they feel is the best for their property.
That makes a lot of sense. And it gives you the ability to explore options and see what they take up. What has been most popular? Like, what are you seeing most properties adopt?
Definitely things like the from Therabody or Hyper Ice, the recovery equipment in the rooms. That's been really popular.
The guns?
The guns.
These are for the uninitiated, not guns. They're devices, pneumatic devices.
Massage guns that
put on your acupressure points to help relieve tension.
It's great when you've been in work meeting, or you just, you're getting those aches and pains from traveling. The compression boots after people have been flying or working out, that's been really popular. Red light masks are popular. Sleep pieces of equipment, whether that's working with the brand in the property that does a sleep kit for them. Those things have been quite popular. We're putting in fitness equipment, weights, and everything QR coded, tells you how to use them.
In the rooms?
Yeah. And we're launching with Nesco soon. So with their masks, because they're brilliant, with 15 minutes with a mindful meditation, which they can use when they're in the room, which is that mindful pillar. And it's great for retail.
So they put the mask on, they listen to them.
QR code. But it's great for retail because it's raising awareness of spa. And if they like it, they can buy it. It can be packaged up in their room, or affiliate programs with the brand so they can deliver it directly to the house. So
let me ask you a sales question. If I'm a guest in your hotel and I have this option to do the Nesco mask and listen to the meditation, is there a message at the end that says these are available in our spa, or is that too push?
No, we have, if you'd like to know more, if you'd like this included in a treatment, if you'd like to, you can find it available at the spa, definitely, yeah.
Good. So how do you, Kerry, go out into the market and find new things and see what's happening in other properties?
Most of them are events and shows, such as We Work Well. You get to be exposed to a lot in one hit, which is great, gets your juices flowing when you're looking at it all. But also you get to mix with other industry professionals, spa leaders. So you've got people there that are educated and understand, that you can sit and talk to and see what they think. And I find that really invaluable. So I would say that's the most. Other things like magazines, like Spa Business Magazine, things like this, seeing what's out there. And just making sure that I'm out when the new place opens, when I see something to do with wellness, whether it's in hospitality or not, trying it. It's the best way, I think.
Have you tried anything new personally that maybe falls outside the scope of what would typically be in a spa, or certainly a hotel spa, but that you felt was interesting or compelling?
I really like the these new social wellness thermal facilities.
Mhm.
There's Arc in London, and
Mhm.
it's not maybe luxury, some of them,
No.
but I'm finding it fascinating. The social wellness, people not going to bars so much and them going and enjoying these social experiences, and how these experiences are really coming into property now. I met with a company that does, they're not just experience showers now, they're immersive experience showers with the whole, um, if you're in the pool, it looks like a wave is coming over you. And the um, ocean then makes the ripple happen into the pool, and it's becoming like
That's cool.
really super immersive. Going into an experience shower within a pool where the curtains open of the water, and once you step inside, it goes, the rainfall becomes really thick so that you're inside, and then it's like a mist and experience inside for just you. And at the end, the curtains open. It's very almost Disney, I think,
Mhm.
but in a really beautiful way. And I think these immersive experiences are quite interesting. So
I I think so too. They're doing so much with water. The technology has advanced. But when you peel that back and you look at the basic of what you started with, which was I visited ARC last
Mhm.
year, and the other one, Sanctuary in
Yeah.
Shoreditch, um, that was very interesting. Yoga, they had a sanctum class, they have a healthy food cafe, they have sauna, they have
Mhm.
cold plunge, and it's all the young people are there.
Yeah.
And ARC the same. I mean, this is where they're going, as you said, instead of bars.
Mhm.
And it's but we are losing them. I always think, oh, the spa, they should be in our spa, but they're here because it's not only less expensive, but they don't have to book ahead and
Yeah.
plan. They're more like, I got up in the morning, let's go do something. So I'm thinking about how are we going to claw back that customer?
It's definitely, I mean, we're having to create in our design and spaces for spas now, really making sure there are not only the elements for solitude and peace, but social as well. So in Corinthia, London, we have a 360 amphitheatre sauna, glass all round, and really bringing in Aufguss. We're having to adapt and bringing in that social wellness element where people can come and experience it together. So I think we are having to adapt, and recovery rooms and just areas where people can socialize. So it's not just a
Right,
place anymore.
right.
I think that's, the best way of making it accessible, but it all depends on the demographic that you're going for.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So what about treatments? I mean, what used to be the core of the spa offering? Do you see that changing at all in the near future?
No, I think we've seen people try. I think the touchless wellness and things like this have come in. I definitely feel there's a place for that, in bolt-ons to treatments and enhancements, but you can't beat the touch of a therapist. So I don't see it disappearing. It's getting harder, for us to be able to perform. We're getting less and less therapists, and um, less people qualified to be able to do it, which has always been a challenge. It is a challenge. So we've been having to be forced to look at other ways to let them have wellnesses through experiences rather than touch. But I don't ever see it's stood the test of time for so long. I don't ever see the hands-on treatments ever disappearing completely.
I agree with that. I think that we see the massage robots and the touchless options, and as you said, there is a place for that.
Mhm.
But as we get so tech oriented, people do crave humans.
Mhm.
Human touch cannot be replaced by any robot, no matter how refined or amazing it is. So I do believe that continued effort to touch another human is going to be core to our offerings. We shall see.
Yeah. No, definitely. I don't see it changing. I mean, I was a therapist myself, um, and watching the connection that you have with guests, you can't get that from anything else. So I definitely don't see that changing.
Can you speak to a little bit about your Corinthia pipeline, the size and scope of spas, treatment rooms, areas ratio to the hotel property? Has that changed at all? And what is it? What is typical?
Yeah, I think what's been really helpful is, I mean, the industry's changed. So people that we're now trying to pitch for as Corinthia to manage their properties, one of the questions is now, what is your wellness offering going to be? It's an expectation, as I said, of the guest. So it's become a lot more important. And I've definitely noticed more people attending the calls on the design workshops than ever before, showing an interest within the company, which, you know, can be good and bad sometimes, but in a good way. I think, I mean, with our 4 pillars, really making sure with the design that you have an area for recovery. You've got an area for mindfulness, you've got an area for nourishment and definitely movement. But really focusing and making sure you've got these different areas for we've been given a lot more floor space, shall we say. And thermal facilities, it's not now, gone are the days of sauna, steam room, ice fountain, experience shower. We now need contrast therapy, and that takes more space, and that's an expectation. And so, yeah, we're definitely getting more space, and this isn't anything new, but it's becoming more and more stronger. Is that spa did used to just be an amenity of a hotel, and then they realized it was a revenue generating cost center. Corinthia, Lisbon, where we are now, but not the hotel, but Corinthia, Lisbon, they have beat the F&B department, some of the departments, on revenue. And suddenly it's like people are looking and realizing what we can do. And unfortunately, that comes with really high budget expectations, that suddenly they look at us and they give us budgets without,
Because you did it once.
Because you've done it once,
Yeah.
and without any more floor space and without anything else, because they don't understand the business model so much. So we've got more pressure definitely to perform. But yeah, people are sitting up and taking notice, and we're getting definitely more of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like more space, but not necessarily more treatment rooms, just more space for amenities or touchless wellness options.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing, we have to remember to speak to our owners as they are accountants effectively. So as soon as you talk to them about, treatment rooms, it's not, they used to think that it's actually the therapists that make the money. So you could have 17 treatment rooms, but if you've only got 5 therapists, it's not going to work.
No,
So,
they don't work empty.
no. So you have to work that out. But what also is interesting is in the properties that don't have enough treatment rooms, I'll rent out a bedroom of the hotel and tell them, I can make what you make in a night in a couple of hours in there. So charge it to the spa and I'll take a bedroom. And we've been playing and doing that for a little bit. And suddenly they're realizing that, hold on, they could make more out of a room of a spa. And then it's interesting how we can then get some suites on the top floor of a hotel, like overlooking something, because we make more money.
No, it's a
Well,
good
then it
point.
does.
They sell, often the price of the services is somewhat equivalent to the rack rate on the hotel, which they get for a 24-hour period and you get for a 1.5-hour period.
Yeah.
So yeah, the math does work.
It does work. So yeah, it's interesting when you do that, and then they realize that you can expand if you want to and you need to. You can expand the spa into the hotel, and hotels are much more willing to allow you to do that, especially when you can prove it.
Well, plus that option that you're doing is flexible, right? It's not a long commitment.
No.
It's like a little trial, or maybe for seasonality issues, you take a few hotel rooms and you take them back at other times. So good on you. So my last question, Kerry, if you could design like your dream spa of the future with no constraints in budget or space, like what would be in there?
Definitely the thermal facilities are really important to me. So that thermal journey, I'd really like something that could take the guests from that hot, cold experience where they could be guided through. I've seen a few of these spas that do like the rainforest kind of experiences, and they're really cool. Them, I think, what else would I like? If I got a choice completely. Recovery rooms, definitely. I think the treatment rooms, I think the way that making sure that they have enough back of house space and support to be able to help them with that. But I'd like the spas to come out of the basement all of the time. So we've got a great one in Dubai that's going to be called the Sky Sanctuary. That's going to be very 64th floor. So it's going to be very high up. And that's exciting. So being able to, have it more not on the edge of the building where you have to follow all the signs to find it.
Right. And you get lost in the elevator coming out, right?
So yeah, I think I'd like to do that.
Well, if anyone can make it happen, I think you can.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Kerry Turpin, Global Head of Spa and Wellness for Corinthia Hotels. We look forward to seeing more of them, hopefully in the U.S. sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
very
you.
much. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, that's a wrap on our We Work Well EMEA 2026 version of StarrCast. I hope you enjoyed these interviews, and we will be back with more content next week. Thank you.